Sitting in my 2001 Buick Regal LS. It is a 3.8 liter Series 2 GM engine. And the dash, actually the interior of this thing is completely torn apart because the window was broken out in Georgia, where it was purchased. And it ended up getting mold all over everything, which I cleaned up. I cleaned off all of that. You can't really see it very well. Let me see if I can get this flashlight. But the dash is just completely torn apart. The only thing is the fuse box sitting there with the old ventilation tubing and steel and stuff like that, and my AC switches hanging down. Rear view mirror fell off because the glue was too hot. But I got my gauge cluster zip tied so it stays in place at least. And everything else is still functional. It's just kind of hanging in there. So what I'm going to do is tear out all this old carpet and take all of that out of the dash, including the heater core, the blower motor, and everything else in there. And I've got some square tubing and stuff, and I'm just going to rebuild the entire dash my own way. And weld it, give it a nice metal frame, and then I'll use 1/4-inch plywood to panel over the skeleton. Cut new holes for the stereo, put some round AC vents on it, and gauges and stuff here and there. At first I didn't know about this car because it just seemed too messed up for its own good, really, until I found out what it's got in it. And I had no idea that the GM 3800 was probably the best engine that General Motors ever made. And it only has about 82,000 miles on it. So I figure, yeah, it is worth fixing up and rebuilding the interior. And I got to do the ceiling too because all the cloth is starting to hang down all over the place. So this is probably the most reliable car I've ever had. It's never failed to start. It's never left me dead. It's never stalled or died on me. And it rides very smooth, like a boat, except on bad bumps. It's kind of moderately smooth. But overall, it's a great car. It's a rock solid car. And the mileage isn't too bad either for a V6. So I think it's worth, especially being that a lot of the parts to it are very cheap. You can get them on carparts.com for way less than you'll find at AutoZone or some other place. But that engine in this car is like a tank. It's like a rock solid tank, and it feels so smooth. The acceleration, and it has some tremendous power for what it is. And it's got high torque at low RPM. I say most of the torque kicks in around between 25 and 40 miles per hour. So I think what I'm going to do is put brand new carpet in it with padding and get the ceiling redone myself. I'm going to maybe replace the ceiling with wood, paint it nice, get all the lighting holes and stuff cut out ahead of time, and sort of plan everything out like that. Then I'd like to get a new windshield because, as you can see, this one's got a big scratch from one of the wipers. It was running and didn't have the rubber on it, and it just kind of made a groove in the windshield, so I'd like to get that replaced. These engines have been known to go above 400,000 miles, and I think the GM 3800 is definitely a keeper. If you have that engine in your car, hang on to that sucker, because cars are no joke these days. They're just so expensive, even used. You just can't find anything for a decent price anymore. It's exceedingly rare. And one engine to stay away from is the 3.6 liter GM, because it has persistent timing chain issues and other problems. So anyway, I'm going to cut 2 holes in the top of the dash for a couple of 6x9 woofers and put speaker covers on them, including cloth underneath to protect them from the sunlight, and a couple of more 6x9s underneath facing the floorboards, and a couple of new ones in the back above the back seat. This actually doesn't even have a back seat. Because it was taken out so that I could fit all my stuff on a long distance move from Colorado, and it worked. And it's just me. I don't have any passengers, so I figured, well, who needs a back seat anyway? I'd like to get a nice stereo system and maybe an amp, about 450 watts total power, probably RMS actually. So anyway, this has a automatic 4T65E transmission, which are good transmissions, but they're not the best. They have a history of issues, and there are better transmissions out there, but fortunately, a new transmission or rebuilt transmission will go probably another couple of 100,000 miles. That's a long time. So I could just save for a rebuild kit and all the little parts and clutches and everything. Just rebuild it myself if I ever have to one day, or get another one. I think my dream car, personally, I've always dreamed and wanted to have a 1974 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. And my second most wanted car is a 1978 Mercury Cougar XR7. I know that's pretty modest, nothing too flashy, but that's just me. I never really wanted a Porsche or a Bentley or anything like that. Never wanted a Dodge Charger or a Mustang or really any classic muscle car. Just the old Cutlass Supreme and Mercury Cougar, really, or one or the other. But, this Buick is what I've got. I don't make that much money. And I figured, well, I'm just thankful for the car that I have. It is so reliable. It's so mechanically sound. And I'm thankful for this car. And I'm just going to do my very best with it, with what I'm able to do and what I have. I'm pretty sure it'll go at least another 150,000 miles before I have any serious issues. And that's a long time, so at 15 years, I'll be almost 70 at that time. Of course, you got other things that go bad and you have to have replaced more frequently, like batteries. I put a bunch of new parts around the engine, like water pump and sensors, and it has a new starter motor. I've got a new fuel pump, just little things like that. But that's to be expected. Nothing lasts forever. I mean, so I'm headed to work right now. I'm just gonna do my job. I'm a security rover in a gated community. I haven't had a night off in a long time, and I've got, I think, 7 more nights to go, and then I'll finally have 2 nights off. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate any views, and God bless.